In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Pops and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. And I forgot to change the background during the theme song.
This is intentional.
Right.
Look what I got to my right and left.
All right, if you want to read into it, David, then that's completely appropriate. But we had a last-minute live stream this week. We're talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl because I finished the whole book faster than I thought, and more of those will be happening soon because those are fun to read. Welcome to the show.
That was recommended to me to listen to next. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one that.
Which one? Oh, someone else recommended it. Someone else recommended it, other than me. And now you're like, oh, maybe I'll listen to my brother's opinion. Just like my wife. Seriously, I'll say, hey, you should watch this movie. It's super good. And then some cute boy at work will recommend the same movie, and she'll come home and say, someone recommended that I watch this movie, and I'm like, I've been trying to get you to watch that movie for 10 years.
No. No, dude, Audible is amazing. I've always been a slow reader, and so I planned this whole year I was going to read the Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
And I was expecting that to take all year. I finished the Stormlight Archive, and then I went back.
You finished real fast.
I read, or more accurately, I listened to Elantris, and then Warbreaker, and then Emperor's Soul, and then Zamil Akhtar's Gunmetal Gods, which is fantastic. And now I'm deciding whether I should. Now I'm going to listen to the White Sands dramatized adaptation because it's leaving in like 5 days on Audible.
Oh, I didn't know they had one of those.
Yeah, the dramatized thing. I think you have it with a subscription, so you got 5 days to listen to the dramatized version of White Sands.
Anyway, this episode is sponsored by Audible. Apparently, I didn't get that email, but I guess David did. So, read books, I guess, but also welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things. It's called Best Gen because all of us happen to roughly, más o menos, be from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better, but our movies and entertainment certainly were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgia as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that's been pumped through the Hollywood sludge pipes on a daily basis. We got lots to talk about. We already started talking about it before we started talking about it. There's books, there's movies. Rings of Power's over.
Thank goodness. I didn't seriously.
A little bit late on there, but yeah.
It was a last minute decision. I decided I was going to use the soundboard at the last minute.
Hey, that's pretty awesome. You should get more of those zingers.
Yeah, there's only 10 of them. that are like
premium.
Involved in this app. Yeah,
that's awesome. I was gonna say I didn't get a chance to actually weigh in on that, but
on Rings of Power.
Yeah, well, the season finale.
Oh, you were gone on the season finale. Yeah.
But I just wanted to say I think it's just as simple as saying that was seriously one of the worst season finales I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense at all. Like it was so bad.
Arondir's alive. just randomly.
It was just
It's okay.
so bad.
You'll have an opportunity to vent because we've got some residual articles and bad opinions coming through that we'll talk about.
Okay.
So
all right.
you'll have your opportunity to complain about the finale. So there's a little bit of Rings of Power, not much. It doesn't rule our lives anymore, and we've got Vox Machina to talk about, which I'm behind on. I was the only one who watched the first week, and no one else had, and so I couldn't talk about it then, and I haven't watched since. And now you guys have all watched more than me, so we won't be able to talk about that either. I don't care. No, I already know about the big spoiler, so it's fine.
What, the Aragon dice? No, just kidding.
Aragon. What show?
That was an inside joke with my.
What show are you watching? Oh,
with
right.
Brother and I?
Yeah. No. I was there, Jared.
Yeah,
You
I was
don't
like,
explain the
I'm
inside
sure
joke
you're there too, right?
that I was there for. He's not talking about Aragon. He's talking about Aragon. Or he didn't say Aragorn. He said Aragon from the
Yeah.
Aragon show.
Right.
Yeah, we were trolling people coming out of that movie.
It was so funny.
Yep. We had never read the books or listened to the source material at all, and we were just telling people that.
Wait, David, you were there too? I don't remember you being there.
It was my
You were.
idea, bro.
You were. I forgot. I thought it was just me and Jared.
We were a lot closer back then, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You're right. That wouldn't have been when I was going to college. That would have been before. So it was a summer, and that means you would have been there too.
Yeah.
My math is off tonight. And we also have the Devil's Hour after a 10-year hiatus. When did season 1 drop?
I
21.
don't think it was 10 years ago, but it was.
It's been a long
I
time.
think it was 21.
Oh
That's what-
no!
We
thought I
streamed
saw
it. It was like 2 years ago, I think.
Did I get a Kamala Harris ad again? Oh
Dude,
dear!
you've been getting a lot of Kamala Harris ads.
Oh dear! Oh dear!
Actually,
I wanted
not,
to fix that.
Yeah, before streaming this one, I actually got a vodka ad. It's like, which vodka brand do you have a positive opinion of? I'm like, none of the above. Thank you very much.
I think I
Because I'm
actually
on the
choose.
technically
Here we go.
Mexican channel doesn't mean I like vodka.
There we go. I fixed that. I accidentally clicked a button, and I think YouTube started putting in ads automatically. But okay, I just switched that over to the manual button, which means there's a button that I can click that will manually insert an ad if we have a break, which means I'll completely forget to do that, and I won't make any money off these streams, and it'll be great. So.
Well, do we ever have a break in
we
the
did
streams?
no. So
Okay,
the point of the story is after like a three years hiatus because there was COVID and writers' strikes and then another writers' strike and then a Hollywood actors' strike. The Devil's Hour season 2 just dropped last week on Amazon. They didn't do it weekly, but there's only 5
For
episodes.
some reason.
And I've watched 2 of them.
I watched
And-
the first one.
Oh boy, I am pumped. I'm excited for the Devil's Hour to be back. If you haven't heard of the Devil's Hour, just treat yourself, okay? It's not very long. Season 1 is 6 episodes long. Season 2 is now 5 episodes. I'm almost halfway done with it. It is probably my favorite sleeper hit
Yeah.
of all time.
since
I don't know if I
maybe?
can think of a show that just snuck up, came out of nowhere, wasn't advertised at all, and I watched it and I was like, hold the phone. This show's amazing.
Yeah, I remember it. There was a small trailer snippet for it that played on the Amazon splash page, and I'm like, "Ooh, Peter Capaldi, that looks interesting." And
Mark-
I just tucked it away in the back of my mind.
Mark, actually, you could probably just pick up season 2.
Well,
But here's the thing, it won't be as the way that it's structured.
it's
You
structured so
actually
well.
you actually kind of could start with season 2, but don't because season 1 is fantastic. Okay.
It's,
and you will-
it's so well how they pepper in little bits of information, and you think it's going one way,
Oh, you will not.
and
Yes.
then it's
This
so
is
amazing.
this was also the first time in a very, very long time, maybe ever, where I was watching the show and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, what's going on, and I can't guess. I'm really good at guessing the plots. I'm infamously good at guessing the future plot of the movie. My wife hates me Okay, because I've
As our
broken
little stunt with Aragon approved, right?
I've broken every movie, and she gets so mad. She's like, "Why did you have to figure it out? I wanted to be surprised." And I'm like, "Because I pay attention. I'm sorry. You can't do that with this show. This show is amazing." Okay?
That's the thing. Like, I'm just starting out season 1 too, because I hadn't gotten on this bandwagon that these guys were on last
Right.
season, and I'm just starting it out. And that's basically how I feel about season 1. Is like, there's so much stuff where I'm like, wait, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this is going. I don't know, but it's like good. But at the same time, you're like, what? Why is this relevant? I don't understand. Like, where is this? Like,
But there's so many little details that will make sense. Like especially on a rewatch, you're like, holy crap, they were planning for stuff like way in advance.
No, there's
And-
stuff
and
from
even the-
season 2 that
even with
in
season two, yeah.
in the first episode where I was like, "Wait,
Mm-hmm.
you were thinking about this?"
Yeah, exactly. So you haven't seen season 2 yet, then, Jared?
No,
No, I
he's
haven't.
Okay,
he's
so
like 2
we're not
episodes in.
I'm not going to
The
talk
first
about
season.
spoilers then.
Oh
but
yeah, no, I don't want to spoil this at all. We'll go like
I'll just
I
say
doubt you'll be able to stop, so we'll probably go full spoilers. Hey,
So I'll just say that episode
week.
1 basically kind of, in some sense, recaps the entire season 1 from a different perspective, and that's all I'm going to say. But
it's
just
like
so
when
freaking brilliant.
yeah, it's so brilliant. It's almost as good as when Stephanie Myers rewrote her first book but gender swapped the main characters. It's almost as brilliant as that. Shoot!
Sure.
I used to remember what that book was called. What was the Twilight gender swap book called?
I have no clue what you're talking about, bro.
It was called New Time of the Month or something like that. New Moon.
Anyways, but yeah, it's really good, and some of the things you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that correlates back to something that happened in season 1.
It's very well
And
thought out.
It's very well done.
well, and that is what I've noticed just with these. Like, I think that's going to be the case just with season 1, right? Like, I'm trying to draw these connections, and
Good
I
luck.
keep thinking to myself, like, okay, there is a connection, right? Like, there's the thing with like the 333, like 333, and like there's things like that where I'm like, okay, so they are drawing lines, and it's just a matter of like, okay, where is this line going? Like, why is this intentional? So I think
Also,
I'm trying to catch up on some of those, but I'm not quite sure yet why it all matters.
And I really want to stress this show is no Outer Range, right? This show doesn't just not answer the questions, right? This is not an empty mystery box. So you're not going to be able to guess what's inside the box. There is something inside the box. It's not written stupidly, and season 1 gives you a lot of answers, and they are very, very fun answers.
Yeah, and to the point where when we were done with season 1, it's like, I know you were saying, bro, that you didn't know if you even wanted a season.
I immediately rewatched the whole thing,
so
and it is very rewatchable.
Yeah. But the way they ended season 1 was
I didn't even think a season 2. You're right. I did not think a season 2 was necessary. I'm
one of those
glad
shows
there's a
that-
season 2.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that you end the season and you're like, holy crap, that was amazing. I want more, but I don't know how they could possibly do more and make it satisfactory. And just, I mean, I've only watched 1 episode of season 2, but holy crap, it's amazing.
Yeah, worth it. That sounds gross. So thanks for that, Mark. I guess that's all we can say about The Devil's Hour. We'll probably go full spoilers next week because Jared is going to have watched the whole thing, and I don't know if I can help myself. And also, I'm doing construction on my house, so I'll likely be very, very tired, and instead of working at the end of the day, I will watch TV. So that's why videos have slowed down. But I've been trying to compensate and do a lot more live streams. I actually live streamed 4 days in a row last week. One of them you haven't seen yet because it was recorded live for the White Cloaks channel, and they take forever to edit their videos. But I've been trying to supplement regular videos with live streams.
Was that the book 5?
That was rewatching Wheel of Time season 2 with the White Cloaks.
Why would you do that to
Why
yourself?
would you do that to yourself?
Because I'm a
That's not
sadist.
a rewatchable show. That's for sure.
Because they're doing that. They're rewatching season 2 over a year. Like we watched half of episode 2. That's how far we got. They turned it into a drinking game, and I was the only one that was sober. And by the end of the stream, it was really bad. So that's not live yet. That'll be live whenever they finish that. But I'm currently also going over Wheel of Time Book 5 with the Nerdporio Life Form. That stream is also on Sundays right before this stream. It was canceled this week because he's under the weather. Probably.
Oh no, I was talking about the book 5 for Stormlight. I saw something pop up.
Yes,
for
I'm also doing that, Jared.
yeah.
I'm going over Lord of Chaos with Nerdporio Lifeform on Sundays right before this stream. This week it was canceled. And last week when we didn't do this show, I was over there for like 2 hours. On Tuesdays, we're going over Wind and Truth with the Prophet of the Dragon.
Wait, so I how is that? It's not out yet. How is?
You're a dummy. Chapters. You're a big idiot.
That's why I'm asking.
He's releasing chapters every week.
Secret chapters?
He's releasing the first third of the book before Dragonsteel. 2 chapters, 2 to 3 chapters every week.
Okay. And is that on his Dragon's?
No, it's just Google it. Wind and Truth chapters. I think it's Reactor Mag, which is a horrible name, but it's Tor's magazine. I don't know why they don't call it Tor.
Okay, because that's the thing. I was like, shoot, how are you guys already reading this stuff?
Yeah, you can find them there, and they're also releasing the audiobook chapters too. You can listen to it.
Oh, good. I was gonna. That's what I was curious about. I was like,
but it's on SoundCloud. It's on SoundCloud, and you can't speed up. You can't speed it up. You have to listen. You have to listen at molasses speed, and boy, that has been jarring.
Yeah, I'm used to listening to it at least 1.7.
Okay,
if not double speed.
So
keep reading at normal speed. All right, nice.
Yeah.
So in addition to Best Gen Sunday nights, Wheel of Time also Sunday nights, Stormlight Tuesday nights. Whenever I finish a Dungeon Crawler Carl book, we'll do a surprise book club. And you should start reading those too. You should follow along. It's fun. I'm halfway through book 2, so maybe tomorrow? I don't know. But they're like, you can't wait. As soon as you finish, we got to stream. And then also in addition to that, we finally have a date for the Fall of Hyperion stream. It's a bit in the future because coordinating with other YouTubers is tough, but November 11th. I think that's a Tuesday, or maybe it's a Monday. I'm going to check right now.
Nice.
It is it's Veterans Day. We're going to stream on Veterans Day. It's kind of appropriate. That book's about war. Anyway, November 11th.
Nice.
Fall of Hyperion. Finally doing that. And we got the happy Mexican in the house, and we are live. So don't say all those racist things you were messaging me.
Hey, Mixa.
Anyway, those are all of the streams I'm currently doing concurrently, and I will try to get videos out as well. I'm very swamped though because I have to finish remodeling the house before my wife has a baby in 2 weeks, and so we are scheduled for an induction because my babies are big. And we were part of an induction study for the first time. And so it's currently scheduled for a Monday, which would be great because then we won't miss a week of Best Gen. But if something happens, baby comes early, baby comes late, and without warning, there is no show and no message for explanation for why there is no show, it's because I've had a baby. So,
Your wife's had
heads
a
up.
baby.
Yes. It's because I've done all of the work. And I've pushed out a baby myself. Also, fun news. Sorry, this has been a lot of preamble this episode. We're streaming on X. Oh, we lost it. We lost the Mexican.
Nah, man.
We're streaming concurrently to YouTube and X, and I just tested to make sure. Look, I can get comments from X too. It's
That's
mine.
sweet.
No one's watching there. It's just me.
I didn't know you could stream video on X.
Yeah, testing things out. I may have been pressured into it. I wasn't pressured. It was completely of my own volition. I signed up for a year of X Premium because I wanted to test out Gronk.
What's that?
Or Grok. Grok is the AI.
Oh,
It's ChatGPT, but based.
yeah.
I'm just.
Is it racist? Okay, this is a great point, Mark Clark. It's not racist if a minority says something racist, which is why you want to become a channel member today. That's right. Just for $9.99 a month, you can purchase yourself a diversity shield by becoming a channel member and making yourself also, technically, a Mexican. It's like papal indulgences, but for racist comments that could get you canceled. You're welcome, friends. Also, you get early access to my videos, which I admit I've been bad at this last week because I haven't made any videos. Anyway, we've got some wonderful people in the chat. Mark Clark is our inaugural channel member. I always struggle with that word. He was the first one. He's been so faithful, and we love him.
Yep.
Glad you're here.
Channel member for 2 years now. He's got the platinum sombrero.
He has that platinum sombrero in his name, and boy, does it look sexy. If you also want a sombrero, 99 cents a month, baby. Okay. Do we want to go over? I can't hear you, Mexa. Seems like you're having some internet problems. Because you popped in and out, and now you're back. We can't. If you are saying anything, we can't hear it. And as soon as you pop in anytime, we'll just we'll get to you. But we're gonna move on, okay?
Also, gotta appreciate your comments, Mark Clark. Thanks for the
comments.
the pressure. Like
Oh yes.
So.
Yeah, I love that we've got Mark Clark on that train, just nagging Jared for children.
Jared's mom needs grandkids. She's already got a couple from other
Just not from me.
from other better siblings.
Apparently, yeah.
What are we raging about this week? Actually, yeah, it's mostly good.
Yeah, not a whole lot of rage this week.
We just gushed over the Devil's Hour. If you missed the first 15 minutes of that, watch the Devil's. It's Peter Capaldi, okay, chewing up the scenery, and he gets to be a spooky guy, and it's fun, and it's Halloween. So go watch a spooky show. Go watch the Devil's Hour. Should we do news first, or do you guys want to talk about Vox Machina, or do we want to get into the Penguin? I'll leave it up to you guys. What do we cover first?
Let's talk about Vox Machina. I don't think that's going to take very long, and we can do.
All right, Vox
Bad
Machina.
Takes,
I watched the
Nerd
first 3 episodes of season 3. We're on season 3, right?
Yep.
First 3 episodes of season 3, they're fine. I think I'm just in the same camp of there are too many characters, and I don't really care about most of them.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm happy that they made a TV show because I think it's really cool to have just this private company kind of have leverage over Wizards of the Coast. Because screw them.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that they've had this opportunity. I also think they need to do a little bit more editing in the writers' room to condense their 3-year campaign into a TV show because there's a lot of wasted time there, right?
Yeah, and a
It's
lot of
basically just turned into a fetch quest.
Yeah.
over and over again.
Especially the first 3 episodes very much feel like that.
Yeah.
It's
not bad.
Yeah.
I don't love it though. It's fine.
I will say the first 3 episodes were fine. I think it was episode 4 or maybe 5 that kind of really annoyed me. But some of the things they're doing, I don't remember if I'm on episode 6 or 7. If I've watched 6 or 7, but it gets pretty good. There's some good character development in there, a bit.
Also,
I appreciate too that there is some, sex happening, but it's not like full frontal graphic nudity like there was in season 1, which I'm very much appreciative of. Although there is some more.
That's a good one.
If
it takes 10 seconds for Guy Ladriel to kill an ice troll, Jared can give his grandchildren.
Fantastic comparison there.
It's about this. No, just kidding.
Yeah. You need to make an honest woman out of your wife.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is you're saying that there are too many characters, and I agree. There are some issues in the season.
It's not the problem that there's too many characters. It's there's too many characters that I don't care about.
That's what I'm saying. There are.
You can pull off a big ensemble cast, but you need to give us reason to care about each person. And if anyone dies, spoilers, I know someone dies. I don't really care.
Yeah. So there's specifically in this season, there is a couple that we're supposed to care about, and I don't really care. One of them does some cool magic and stuff, but yeah, I don't really care about them. Not invested in those characters, and some of the moments are played off like this big heartfelt moment, like we're supposed to care, and like we just don't know these characters enough.
Yeah, it's one of those cases. Yeah, I want the show to be better. I'm happy it exists. I would like it to be a little bit better quality, but good on the fandom for getting something this cool.
And then another thing too is you mentioned the fetch questiness of it, which I don't particularly mind. I think that's fine. It is, it is that coming from a D&D campaign, which is
that can absolutely be done well. It's just it's repetitive.
There are some other aspects of it that, in the first season, especially,
Jacob Ironside's in the chat.
There were hey Jacob, in the first season especially, there were several moments where you could say, "Oh, that was pulled directly from a D&D campaign. That's exactly how it would have gone."
Yes,
this person was trying to do this awesome move, and then they rolled a 3 and completely, flubbed their awesome move that they were going to do. There's some times in this season where they're going for something and then it just kind of doesn't turn out that way, and you obviously know in the D&D campaign they didn't roll correctly.
Also
the other way around where they were trying to do something and then they just rolled a nat 20, and it just completely
there's
succeed.
Also some
it's a little bit
confusing
annoying.
There's also some confusing stuff where I'm like, I think this might have been a problem, might have been pulled over from the fact that it was a game. But it also kind of makes for a bad story. Like in the first part of this season, they're gonna do a heist, and it's really high stakes and important. And one of the characters is just like, "You guys go ahead without me. I've got to go see my daughter, and talk to her."
And it kind of happens again.
And you're like, is it because he was gone that week? He was sick or something, and they all had to do the heist without him. But it doesn't make any. They don't give him a reason in the story without any context to not help his team out for this very important, very dangerous heist. And spoilers, it goes wrong because he's not there.
And it gets worse because they do the exact same thing in episode 6.
Yeah, and I get that that's something that happens all the time in games, right? You get a couple people who can't show up, and so you do a side quest with half of your group, and then you Skype the other two, and you do a side quest with them, and then they merge and merge into the. Is your mic working?
Nope.
We'll see. We love that you're here. We'd love to see your sexy mug. Happy Mexa.
Yeah. So anyways, I do agree. I wish that they would develop these more from instead of going exactly the way how it went in the campaign, just make the story flow a little bit better, because it seems like
that's his biggest
going
problem.
this way, and then they just abandon that and turn tail and do a different thing, which happens in D&D all the time, but it's not a good story.
The show's biggest problem is that it's trying to be too faithful an adaptation.
Exactly.
And for adapting a live D&D game, you have to make changes.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different from adapting a book, okay?
But it's still really, really fun, and the animation is amazing. And
the thing that bothers me, at least this season, is the romance between is it Keeley, the wood elf or whatever,
and Vex.
I don't remember his name. It's
Vaxilium or
Voxilium. It's Vex and Vox, Vox and Vex.
I don't
know.
I don't remember which is which. I think Vex is the girl. Vax is the
sure. Between
the Ravens or whatever.
Their romance feels like it's been going in circles for 3 seasons and hasn't done anything.
Yeah. I agree.
Tough choice. Is this a would you rather type thing, Mr. Guy? Technically Mexicans guys speaking English versus pretty Korean K-pop girls, but with subtitles. Ooh. I think this doesn't feel like an either-or type scenario. This feels like a Porque no los dos type scenario. So, that's my hot take. And we lost him, and he's back. We shall see.
Oh, still can't hear you, Mexa.
He's watching both. There you go. That's the correct answer. Private chat. It's not working. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh, he left. We'll see. We'll see if he comes back.
Yep.
Probably will a couple times more. Darn it. That's what you get for being actually Mexican. Is bad internet. Anything else to say on Vox Machina?
No. It's still a fun time. It's not amazing.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Fun.
I would just say that I think that I agree with a lot of you guys' comments. But man, there's I think later in the season, the first part of the season definitely felt more like they're going.
It gets better.
Yeah,
But
like I said, it was like episode 6 or 7 that there was some really, really good character development that was going on.
Oh yeah, so there's the character development, which I thought was really good, but then I also really liked, like some of the battle scenes were really good. Like there's this one between
The animation's good.
the dragon and the guy that gets out of hell.
Yeah.
Like that one,
yeah.
I literally was like,
You're
oh
right.
my God, this is
This is-
That was amazing. I don't think Alan has gotten to that part yet, but that was a good battle.
This is absolutely the type of criticism that I give to a show that I do like.
Yeah.
Okay, because I want it to be better. It's not a bad show.
Yeah, it's been really good. The animation's really good. For the most part, the story is pretty good too. I think there's a lot of I think the problem with the characters is like I definitely didn't care much about anybody other than Vox Machina. And there are a lot of people dying.
I'm struggling even inside the group. There are some characters it's one of those things, and this is the problem with any D&D thing, is I don't understand why they're together as a group.
Well, and
there isn't a really big reason for why these people are friends, because some of them you're like, I really don't know why they're friends.
Yeah, and it gives it's a little bit more backstory to some of those too.
Yeah.
This season, which I really appreciated, because it was like, yeah, it kind of is kind of neat to kind of see how they get together and how what brought them together.
Uh-huh.
And so I really enjoyed that. But that is later on in the season, right? So it's like
right. We're 3 seasons deep. I should know.
Yeah, it's true.
Why they're together,
That should have probably been brought up before.
I get that that's something we gloss over for D&D campaigns, right? Because we're together because we're friends, and we can't always work our backstories together,
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's a good point.
I feel like they don't have common goals. So I like the show. Don't love it. Yeah, it's fine. It's good animation. You guys want to see some news? Okay. We got here's some. This is our Rings of Power segment. Okay. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I showed you this video where the Tolkien professor said there's no such thing as canon.
Yep.
There's no such thing as canon in Tolkien. I want to take you back in a time machine to a tweet from said Tolkien professor.
Oh, no.
From 2022. Top 3 things I hope are not true in the Rings of Power. 1. Durin's Bane emerges in the show. Twice, baby.
And probably
Halbrand is Sauron.
Ding, ding, ding.
The Stranger is Gandalf. Team Blue Wizard. None of these will be deal breakers for me, but I'll be disappointed.
Didn't seem disappointed after they shelled out who knows how much money for you to spout your mouth and shill for the show.
Didn't even mention how, I'm done. That's all I want to say.
Yep.
I said my piece last week, and it was pretty strong. This is from Amazon Video. Amazon Prime dropped this picture with a brief moment of victory. Did they watch the show?
Yeah, that is a moment right after their defeat.
Did Amazon watch their own show? Every single character here lost. They all had... There were 4 different battles they were all fighting. And they lost all of them.
Yep.
And that's what all the comments are saying. What? It's pretty great. Anyway, Mary Sue. It's time to admit Rings of Power is doing Tolkien lore better than the movies.
Wow.
Is this one of the ones you sent me, David?
I think it might have. I think this is one that I skimmed, and it's pretty bad.
The Lord of the Rings movies weren't true to canon either. I mean, they took a few liberties. It's a victory for feminism, guy.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what they meant.
The Rings of Power may deviate from canon, but it's still grounded in lore. That sentence is completely contradictory. What?
Yeah.
They're not following the events, but they're still following the lore? This woman's an idiot.
Yep.
Rings of Power teases out different interpretations that are still rooted in Tolkien's writing. Like maybe all of those things that the Tolkien professor pointed out would be breaking canon.
Yep.
So rooted in his writings. I don't really care. I don't want to read this. I'm sick of this show. It's not concerned with being literal, and that's a good thing. Screw you. Nope. I'm done.
Yep.
You're an idiot. Oh, great. Ads from Forbes. The 5 biggest problems with Rings of Power from Eric Kane. He's the cool guy, right? I think he's the cool guy.
I don't remember. Yes. Yeah, right.
It serves no purpose. Yeah, Eric Kane's a cool guy. Yes. Yes, indeed. The lore changes are for the worst. Too many storylines, too many characters, none of them interesting. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to speedball this because there's a lot to go through. So, speed run this, not speedball. That's for another time, baby. There's no attention to detail or plausibility. Yeah, I think this is... I mean, I would like to go through this, but it's also... We all know that this is true. We've been covering it every week. The dialogue is both wooden and florid in turn. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's something we've been talking about and bringing up. They try to be deep and poignant with their stupid rocks float or rocks sink and boats float.
This one.
Yeah.
instead of saying I love you, or actually this is someone who's standing for the show, okay? And it's bad. It's not even a good example of, oh, this is something cool, okay? He doesn't say, she says basically I love you, and he doesn't say I love you back. She says you need to go and save your own skin. And he says, it's a mouthful. What cowardice have I ever shown to make you think I would even consider making safe my own skin at the peril of yours? This is really bad writing. They're trying to sound flowery, and they don't know how to do it. I could let's fix this. Go save yourself. My place is here.
Or you could
and my response would be, what? I'll try and make it fit what they're trying to say. I wouldn't even go for this, okay? But if I'm trying to fit their cadence, go save yourself, save your own skin. What have I ever done to make you think I would put my life before yours?
Sure.
A million times better.
Yep. The last part is not too bad.
No, that's the worst part. Making safe my own skin at the peril of yours.
Skin,
no one's ever said that.
Skin at the peril of yours, maybe.
I would have gone with you to the end.
There you go.
How about that?
Except that's ripping off a far better adaptation of Tolkien's work. So, but yeah, I agree. They're
I would just say
flowery and deep, and
I wouldn't even go for any of that framing. She'd say, "Go save your own skin." I would say, I am your I'm your vassal. I will not put my life before yours.
Yeah.
Much better.
Fantastic. Yep.
Vassal's probably the wrong word there. But is audio working? Should have audio working. He's trying to troll me.
Yeah.
I bet they try out their pseudo Tolkien lines on waitresses and stewardesses. Yeah. Also, they're both married, and I think that this is probably still true.
Yep. Was that the last of the five?
No, I just skipped ahead because it was relevant, right?
Yep.
It was an example of proving him right, and there are no stakes. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Cool. Next one. Make the Lord of the Rings fans smile. War of the Rohirrim director determined to protect Peter Jackson's movies by what?
Yeah, so this is a statement that he made that he wants to, not change anything or retcon anything from Peter Jackson's movies and be more in line with what we've seen. That remains to be the case. It remains to be seen whether that's actually going to be the case or not. But at least he's coming from that perspective.
Right. I don't think it's going to be true, though. Like this...
I don't think so, yeah.
This entire movie has made this lady the main character of the movie, and she doesn't have a name in the books.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about her father.
Which that can still be fun and interesting.
Right.
But
his unnamed daughter is supposed to get married, and some problems happen. And now the whole story's about her. So,
yeah. Time will tell.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But at least they're not coming...
I already said it, but I got to read it again. I would have gone with you to the end. To the very fires of Mordor. Into the very depths of the sea that is always right. Such a much better line.
When does this come out?
Next year.
Out already?
Next year, maybe? Or is it this year? It might be November.
I thought it might be this year. That's
think
what I'm asking.
I
But
think it's soon. It should be pretty soon. December 13th. So, I don't really want to watch. We're getting another Lord of the Rings movie in 2026, and that new Lord of the Rings movie should copy the Rings of Power's best Sauron change by making him a pussy.
Pretty much, yeah. No, they're saying that they should make him relatable, because just having him as a flaming eye in a tower that's just this deep.
They should make him a goo.
Yeah. Basically, they should show more of him being a thing. They're praising Rings of Power for showing him in his human form, and we never got to see that in Lord of the Rings. So it's so cool to see more backstory for Sauron.
Is Sauron supposed to even be a character in the Hunt for Gollum?
I don't think so.
I don't think. Maybe. I don't think so.
I think they said before that they were going to still have him as a flaming eye, because they wanted to be tied to the Peter Jackson movies, but I could be misunderstanding
It doesn't understand the idea of being pre-disappointed. But honestly, I was excited for it too. And then they dropped the trailer, and I was like, why? Why? Yeah. There we go. That's what he should have said. And it's Hucklebearer. He doesn't say Huckleberry. That doesn't make sense. I know that's what everybody says. Hucklebearer. I'll be your pallbearer. I'm going to bury you, is what he's saying. You got a death wish? I'll be your hucklebearer. Because I'm going to shoot you. That's the context. In case you're wondering, that's the line from the movie. That one triggers me.
Wow.
I think Mark knows that. What's a I just explained what a hucklebearer is, Mark! Pallbearer! Shipping Sauron and Galadriel on Rings of Power isn't just hot, it makes a better story. Yeah, I'm done. The Rings of Power finale didn't make the top 5 of streaming charts. Was beat out by The Old Man Season 2.
I've never even heard of that show.
On Hulu.
Yep. Inside Out makes sense. People are liking that movie. Monsters, Lyle and the Eric Mendez story. I don't know what that is either. Nobody wants this. I don't know what that's about, but I've seen that.
No, Monsters is the serial killer show that's sexy.
Right.
They did the other one a year ago, and everyone got mad that they made it sexy, and this is the follow up. That one is a different serial killer, and they made this one sexy too. Yeah, the brothers. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they're real mad about it.
Yeah, well, I've seen advertisements for those two, and Penguin is doing amazing, and people love Inside Out, but I have no idea.
Apparently, nobody wants this, which is something that nobody wants. Is wanted more than the Lord of the Rings 2 season finale.
That's pretty sad. Penguin is in its rightful place, though. That's good to see.
I keeps it real. I don't know why that's funny. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing you've ever wrote. But I liked it. Okay, that was Rings of Power. There's other news though. Remember the Get Out statue?
Yeah. That was in London or something, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the UK.
We got it.
Oh dear.
We got the Get Out statue.
Let's see the pic.
I don't know. People want to see an Acolyte season 2. Not me.
Are you serious? Are you serious, bro?
It's him falling. He's sideways. I know. This isn't pre-installation. This is the statue. He's falling.
Wow.
And he's got a big ball of testicles in his jacket.
That
Look
looks,
at that.
it looks so bad.
Look, I really liked this movie. This makes no sense. Whatever.
Oh,
We've
boy.
talked about this already too. Yeah, but everyone wants the Acolyte season 2 so much. It's the most talked about Star Wars show of all time. I mean, they are correct that it is the most talked about show, but not for the right reasons. And also,
Yep.
spoilers, don't look at my comment down there because I'm going to say the joke here too. There are many of us who would love to see a season 2. Let Leslie Headland and the cast get their just deserves and be allowed to cook. I see the vision. This is another Huckleberry situation. It's not just deserves. The phrase is get their just desserts.
Or just rewards. Yeah.
And I would argue that they did get their just desserts when the show was canceled. Anyway,
I would agree.
moving on. Star Wars released a transgender. This is wrong. This headline is wrong.
Yes, it is.
It was not a transgender stormtrooper. It was a transgender clone trooper.
Which is
which
a very
makes
important distinction.
Less sense.
Yes.
You know, the clone troopers that were genetically created as clones to all be the same, and if there were ever any mistakes, the Camino psycho aliens would burn them alive because they were inferior product. There are a few exceptions, like that crippled guy. I know there was the crippled one from the TV show that I hate.
The Bad Batch, yeah.
But he was kept on as a joke. And the Bad Batch, they were experimenting, trying to make them stronger, not trying to make them weaker by turning them into women. Now,
So basically, this is
and
hilarious.
she has mastectomy scars.
and for some reason the BIPOC flag, not the BIPOC flag, whatever, the
transgender
trans flag from that hasn't even been invented yet because it was in a galaxy far away.
A long time ago.
But
There
yeah,
you go.
so this is hilarious because either because they're clones, right? They're supposed to be genetically identical, making this person a trans stormtrooper. It's either saying one of two things. One, it's showing that transgenderism is a defect, right? Like a physical defect.
Kind of is. Huh.
Or it's saying it's completely made up in the head, right? She just decided to change.
Okay.
It's either one of those two things. You can't be saying anything else about it. She's a freaking clone.
Val
She's
Kilmer
supposed to be identical to Jango Fett. If not, then either something went wrong or she just changed on a whim.
Val Kilmer is a troll. Okay? He probably said Huckleberry. And now he's trying to cover his own butt. The subtitles say Hucklebearer. The Bad Batch is bad. I agree. I think the Clone Wars is bad. I think it's a very bad show, and I hated it. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Did you guys see this one? Did you guys see this one? This one was fun. This one was very, very fun. So this is the trailer for the new Wicked movie. And someone took the poster, not the trailer. Someone took the poster and made it look like the Broadway poster by covering up her eyes and giving her lipstick and curling the corners of her lips into a smile to, again, copy the Broadway poster.
Yeah.
This is the wildest, most offensive thing I've seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting. Equal to people posing the question, is your...
Wow.
I assume they're asking if the carpet matches the drapes. None of this is funny. None of this is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. Us? Does she mean all black people? Does she mean the cast of the movie? What's us? The original poster is an illustration. I am a real life human being playing a fake life human being who chose who this is the worst. I made an acting decision and chose to look directly down the barrel of the camera to the viewer because without words we communicate with our eyes. Or good actors can also communicate with the rest of their face. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me. And that is just deeply hurtful. She somehow managed to make it about race. Someone making a fan edit, someone who likes the show, was excited for the movie. The person who posted this is probably on your side.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay? Oh, that's funny.
She took the eyes away. She erased her. Wow.
Okay. You know what you just did? You just created a Republican. Okay? Like...
Yep.
She sounds pleasant. Yeah. This is what race baiters do, okay? They take things that have nothing to do with race and make everything about race. It's sick, it's disgusting, and it was someone on your side. The left eats their own. They hate you and they hate themselves.
Yep.
Just, I mean, if we didn't already know the movie was going to be garbage, it's only covering half of the play, and this is what the lead actress is doing. She's incapable of acting with her mouth. And it wasn't even her doing the acting, it was Photoshop.
Yeah.
I made a choice. That's the line that gets me. You're erasing my acting choices. I chose to look down the barrel of the camera because I can only act with my eyes. Okay, I want you to do me a favor and cover up everything but her eyes and tell me what she's acting. I'm trying to do it with my hand. I can't figure it out because she's not a very good actor. Let them eat each other. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Honestly, it's a bad idea to begin with. If they did this 10 years ago, it would have made $1 billion.
Yeah. I was actually looking forward to it.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't listened in 10 years, okay? I like the music to Wicked.
Yeah.
It's a good musical.
Funny story, I never saw the musical. I won tickets to see the show, and I gave them away because my sister was wanting to go with her friend.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out that friend had already seen Wicked, and I gave it to someone who had already seen the show. So I never saw the show, and I was like, I'll just wait for the movie to come out. And I waited too long because Disney is awful now.
Screw you, Mark. She's no Chudy Gatwa. Yeah, sure.
Don't tempt her, man. Don't.
Here's the thing. Man. Yeah, my wife. My wife. I love my wife, and she pisses me off. She got a different job, not the one she currently has, but she used to go on like 5 business trips a year because she would go around and organize events for her work. and she got to go see a couple Broadway plays. One of she got to go see Wicked, and she hasn't even heard of it. She's like, yeah, I went with my coworkers and we went and saw Wicked. It was pretty good. I'm like, I would have loved to see it. I didn't even know what it was when I watched it. She went and saw Beck in a live concert and didn't even know who he was. She said, "This is such a cool concert." I'm like, "He's one of you saw Beck in concert." I love Beck. Okay. Anyway,
That's pretty funny.
the story of my marriage, is my wife getting to do cool stuff for free that I'm very jealous of. Anyway, yeah. Oh, these freaks, they made him delete his post, and then just today he was like, screw him, I'm posting it again.
Nice.
The power of many carpets and many drapes. The power of many carpets and many drapes. You will be unpopular. You're gonna be unpopular. That's from the song, except I changed it.
See what you did there.
Jared, you've got to have a take on Wicked. I'll leave this tab open.
Dude, I love Wicked, and I think that was a sad take on the actress's part, and
Right?
it's going to turn a lot of people off to watching it. Because here's the thing, I've seen it off Broadway, and
Yeah.
it is so good that I would totally watch this movie just because I know how good the show is, the music, like everything, and I think they've got some good actresses who are playing the parts, right? But that definitely does turn me off.
Right?
Think it that way. It's like
I probably,
One's
even though
added-
I wasn't super excited for the movie, I probably still would have checked it out. Now
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
it's just disappointing that every little thing that is just somebody else's
Every book's-
interpretation becomes racist. Like literally,
Yeah.
there's nothing to say that this is racist or demeaning. It's just saying, hey, this is more closely resembles what the poster is.
Yep.
Wicked will make a no. I think people. I think it would have. I think it absolutely would have. I don't think it breaks $1 billion now. But we'll see.
but
We'll see who's
I
right.
I don't know how much the general public is privy to these kind of behind the scenes conversations, though. So
This was pretty public, but yeah. Here's the thing. Like this is
if you're on X,
This is like, being on time is white supremacy, Smiling, making me smile is erasing. Apparently, smiling is white supremacy.
yep.
Oh no, you made me smile. Whatever. More stuff. This is political. This is funny. Kamala Harris tweeted out that Trump is exhausted, unstable, and had like one picture of him looking a little bit tired. And yet yesterday, I literally watched this happen live. I can't remember which news station it was, but they were cutting to a Kamala Harris interview. They were doing some preamble and saying, and now we're going to go to Kamala Harris. And it cuts to live, and she turns around and walks away and says, and she talked for 3 minutes. And the news station missed it.
Wow.
Anyway,
That's hilarious.
the hypocrisy knows no bounds. Boring, pompous, and unexciting and unconvincing is Christopher Nolan. The writer who can't stand Christopher Nolan. I saw this and I didn't want to read it, and then you sent it to me, so now we have to read it.
Yep. So basically, this is the writer of the story Memento, who Christopher Nolan adapted his work, and that was basically Christopher Nolan's first film that
Yeah.
kicked
It's his
off.
first big one.
It was his first big one. It's It's a cult classic. And apparently the writer of the show liked it at the time, but he said he was a hack and that he just does the same old thing over and over again, and he's
only done. But he's only made one movie.
Right. But yeah, I just think it's super disingenuous for this author to have this amazing director adapt his work and then just say, "Oh, he's a hack. He's terrible. He just does the same thing over and over and over again." I'm like, what else have you done? I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. Memento is an amazing story, but why you got to disparage Christopher Nolan? He's one of the only directors in my mind right now
still doing original stuff,
still doing great stuff. Like, he's not adapting. Well, he's doing a really, really good job. He's doing less CGI. He still does some CGI, but he does lots of practical effects that are freaking amazing.
He made one movie before Memento. He did a couple shorts, and he did Following, and then Memento.
Memento was his big breakout role. But basically, he said he was happy with him doing Memento, and then he did The Dark Knight, and he just cashed in his soul because The Dark Knight was uninspired and yada, yada, yada. And now he's just stuck in a routine of doing the same crap over and over again. I'm like...
The Dark Knight, which is pretty much universally accepted as the best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah.
Got it. The one that everyone's trying to copy? That's unoriginal? Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take you on that. $50. I'll bet you $50 that Wicked doesn't break $1 billion. DM me on Twitter. I'll Venmo you $50 if I lose, which I won't. So I'll be expecting a $50 super chat. Deal. I've got $50 to spare. I can do this. Anyway, Jared, you better not go see Wicked, Jared. Okay.
I couldn't support that. Yeah, of course not. No, I'm definitely boycotting it now. Yeah.
If any of you see Wicked,
Not planning on it.
No, I don't see a lot of
worldwide. Yeah. Wait, hold on. How much did Barbie make? Was it $1 billion worldwide, or was that statewide?
I think it was worldwide.
Sure. Let me just look up real quick. I was wrong about the Barbie. I didn't think it would make as much money as it did, but it did. So you have a shot here. You have a shot here, Scheider Huron. Give me a second. Yeah, okay. Worldwide. $1 billion worldwide. Deal. Sorry, not $1 billion. $50. $50. The bet's 50. The movie has to cross $1 billion.
Good clarification.
Yeah.
You almost got me. I had to pay you $1 billion because the movie crossed 50. There you go. Yep. See, thanks, Mark Clark. Thank you for donating your ticket sales for Wicked, so that I have something to pay pay up.
Since when can you go to a movie for $5?
No,
Right?
that's a good point.
That's not a thing anymore.
I guarantee I will not watch Wicked.
The dollar theater. You could go if you waited like 2 months, then it would come to the dollar theater, and you can go to the movies for $1. Yeah, not anymore.
If you go, you have to wear a hat.
That's what I was planning. Yep,
Great
that's definitely what I was planning. And I was going to sleep out in a tent the night before.
There you go.
Thank you, Mark Clark. Okay, Christopher Nolan's a hack. Yeah, right. Look, you're allowed to not like Tenet. I like it. I thought it was fun. But Christopher Nolan is at least original.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Pompous? Yeah, I'll give you that one. He's pretentious, for sure.
But it's definitely not boring, definitely not unexciting.
Here's the thing,
definitely not unconvincing.
He's kind of earned his being pretentious.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference between being pretentious and also being bad, you know? But if it's good, it's kind of okay to be pretentious.
Yep. Right? If you can back it up, then
Now I have to watch.
You're going to spend more than $50 watching it 10 times.
You're gonna spend more money making yourself win the bet, so you don't have to pay the money to me. Yeah, Dunkirk, I love Dunkirk. I think it's one of the best war films ever made.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to be. It's okay. Like it's like humility, right? Like you can't. It's impossible to acknowledge humility. Like that's stupid. It's okay to know, hey, I am a humble person, and it's not the paradox that people make it out to be, right? You can
know that you're good at something
yeah,
without being prideful about it, right?
pompous, yeah. You can also know maybe not the best. I'm sure he probably compares himself to Kubrick all the time, thinking, maybe I could do better. And out of all the directors, you can tell he's trying to do better.
Yeah.
It's not like M. Night Shyamalan. See, M. Night Shyamalan is the example
comparison
of pretentiousness and leaning on it instead of trying to improve. Right?
Yeah.
He started off real good, and then just I'm gonna rest on my laurels. I'm gonna rest on my haunches.
Yep. That's a very good
And I
comparison.
want to like him, but now he's pretentious without being good, and it's bad.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's the principle of the thing. You're going to have to spend $1 billion so you don't lose this bet. Okay. You guys remember our good friend Simu Liu? He was on, not Shark Tank, it was Dragon Tank. Dragon's Den.
All right.
It's the British Shark Tank. And someone came on with a can of canned boba tea, and he went off on a minute tirade, insulting this poor woman, calling her racist, because boba is his thing, his culture. And he says, he ends it by saying, I want to bring boba to the masses, but not with you, you white whore, essentially, is what
really sad.
He's not even Korean. Or he's not Taiwanese. Boba's from Taiwan. Simu Liu isn't. It's not his culture.
Wow.
So, screw him.
As if that matters in the first place, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
He's not, but it's still, even if he was, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway.
She's trying to do something. She likes boba. Let her freaking do it, unless it tastes like crap.
Oh, I didn't see the rest of the clip. I'll have to watch the rest of the clip. I only saw this highlight. Did they call him out? That's marvelous. I'll watch that later. I'll watch that before going to sleep, and I'll smile.
That's good.
You know, I'm going to leave that tab open so I remember to rewatch it. Anyway, he's just a pompous idiot. Someone got mad because Trump used clips from Full Metal Jacket. I almost said Full Metal Alchemist. From Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket in one of his campaign ads, just comparing the modern military to the real military, right? And everyone had a meltdown because I know it sounds political. This is related to nerd stuff, okay? If you've seen Full Metal Jacket, it is an anti-war movie, right? and everyone's saying, "Oh, Trump is so stupid. He doesn't understand that he's showing a movie that criticizes war to a film that he's saying it's a good thing." That's not what he's saying. We all know that war is hell. War is bad. Full Metal Jacket's a great movie that criticizes the war. It talks about how, yes, it's horrible, but we also need monsters to win wars. That's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
And his daughter chimed in. Stanley Kubrick's daughter, who wrote the score for the movie, by the way, and railed into the idiots. And you should read this whole thing, but I'm not going to read it. We're going way too long anyway. She's awesome. Okay. Anyone saying my father wouldn't have approved it, you don't know him. He was he was a massive conservative, and you're idiots. Cool stuff. Yeah, Trump doesn't want war. The first American president in how many years to not have start a war during his presidency? Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe it's because we had a military like this that people were afraid of instead of a military like this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough politics for today. Oops, it's not.
I love how every single show now is like, we don't want to get political, but
it's nerd related. Okay, I'm talking about Stanley Kubrick, and Full Metal Jacket. They made a movie about Donald Trump, and their advertising is saying this movie nearly got banned from being released in the U.S., which means you have to see it. The Republicans don't want you to see this movie. Okay, do you want to know the truth? It didn't get banned. They got sued for lying because they accuse Donald Trump of raping his wife.
Oh. Okay, then.
That's they're trying to make it. See, you're idiots. Okay, you're stupid. Go watch Full Metal Jacket.
Also, SNL has a better impersonation of Trump.
They do.
That just looks really.
That's pretty. I mean,
I like Sebastian Sam too. He's a good actor, but
maybe it's going for a younger one, of course. But
sure, yeah,
like
a younger Trump would.
Also, Trump didn't even sue. He was considering suing them, and he didn't. This movie got banned. They don't want you to see the truth. It's libel or slander. Slander's
libel's written.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, people are mad at Zachary Levi after he endorsed Trump, and everyone's calling him a loser. And now everything's coming out of the woodworks. All these people are trying to slam him for things that happened 20 years ago. And apparently, Zachary Levi thought Shazam would be his big ticket to being The Rock or Chris Evans. And when that didn't happen, he's bitter about that now.
Well, I like
this is something Zachary Levi has never said. This is one of his childhood friends saying this about him. So more complete hearsay. Also, I thought the first Shazam movie was pretty good. Second one was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great. I thought his performance was fantastic, and I like Zachary Levi and everything he's been in.
Yep. I liked him way before Shazam. Chuck is a friggin' amazing show.
Yeah.
And one of the few shows to actually wrap up and have a semi satisfying ending instead of being canceled or.
Good night, Guy. Thanks for popping in. You got there's a K-pop winning. You've given in to the dark side, my friend. But thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I love Chuck. I didn't finish watching Chuck. It was one of those shows where the season 1 was absolutely fantastic, and then season 2 retconned everything that was fantastic about season 1, and I still watched. Yeah. And then season 3 was like, oh, we're gonna get better again. And how did it have 4 or 5 seasons?
I don't remember. It was really
I
good.
remember it going on for a while.
I think I stopped after season 3. Like there was one thing was like, oh, this is just going to get repetitive again, and I stopped
Yeah.
watching. It was also back in the old days when you had to like watch a show every weekly. So now that it's streaming, it's probably something I'd put on and just binge.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. It does end. The finale is.
I know how it ends.
It's frustrating, but it's still satisfying and wraps it up nicely. Which was a when that show was going on, so many shows were either being canceled and not finished, or they were being renewed and just drawn out, and they just ran out of storytelling room, right?
Yeah.
So it was nice to have a show that actually finished and had a semi-satisfying conclusion.
Yeah. Season 1 is. What's the Yvonne Stravinsky, whatever, is that her name?
The co-host?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
The actress?
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she did a great job.
And it's got is it Baldwin?
Yeah, it's got the best Baldwin.
It's got the best. It's got the best Baldwin in it. It's got Firefly guy.
Adam Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Oh, so good. And his role.
It's his best role. It's his best role.
So freaking amazing. Yeah. he's a gun-toting Republican who worships Romney. It's freaking hilarious.
I should probably rewatch and finish Chuck.
Yeah,
So
it's a good show.
get Zachary Levi some residuals.
Yeah,
because he's I mean, and he even said it. I realize I'm committing political suicide by endorsing Trump, but my conscience won't allow me to vote for anyone else. So, I don't want to talk about Daniel Green, but he's an idiot, and he's wrong. It's not woke ruining your shows. It's incredibly stupid studio decisions cutting down writers' rooms.
it's the writers' rooms that are writing crap.
Huh. I wonder what the writers were writing that made the studios decide to cut them down. Perchance, mayhaps, could it have been that it was woke?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know it's been there's been a lot of news. We got to end with a little victory here, guys.
Yeah,
Rafe Judkins was just fired as showrunner for God of War.
That's a good sign.
that is. I'm behind the times. I didn't even realize they were doing a show for this.
Yeah,
I've talked about it ad nauseum. They rewarded his incompetency by giving him another showrunning title at Amazon, doing God of War. This has been going on for about 2-3 years. He's been writing scripts and working with them. They fired him this week, saying, "We want to go in a different creative direction."
It was probably getting too woke.
And he had written multiple scripts, gotten lots of feedback, and still couldn't get it right.
I wonder how many.
God of War.
I wonder how many steamy orgies he tried to shove in the source material.
So, is this a good omen for Wheel of Time cancellation? It could be a sign that Amazon is turning the ship.
Okay, but I think we should clarify. Like, I don't want Wheel of Time to be canceled. Like, I want it to keep going. It just needs a different director, a different person in charge of it.
I don't want it to keep going from this direction. I want it to be canceled and restarted. You
that's
can't.
fine, but
from what they've already ruined in seasons 1 and 2. You cannot finish the story.
It would be hard to come back from that.
It's impossible. They've turned all of the main characters into bad people.
And opposite of what they are in the actual source material, in the books. Almost every single character
cannot
is opposite.
Think about the ending of this series and think about what Rand has done in season 2. It does not compute.
No, you're right. It does. It doesn't. It doesn't. It wouldn't help.
Perrin is a cold-blooded murderer. His entire story arc is supposed to be is being racked by guilt between the axe and the hammer, creation and destruction. He was supposed to kill a white cloak in self-defense and then feel really bad about it.
Yeah.
And hate any time he picked up the axe. He got sick, but he was so good at killing because he was a wolf.
Yep. Instead, he just straight up murders a dude because
and he keeps getting forced into situations where he has to protect his friends.
Yeah.
And he has to pick up the axe. And then he encounters the traveling people. And he sees them being butchered because they refused to pick up the axe.
Okay, this is my fear though, because if Amazon drops it,
start over.
What is the likelihood that it's going to be started up again? Right? Like
low. They're low, but they're higher than they would be if Amazon keeps going.
Yeah.
Yes, but still, it's like
there's nothing redeemable.
This adapted, like
I do too. I want to see it adapted, but not like this. There is nothing redeemable from this show.
And I agree with that. I would go with that as well. Like I see what you're saying, and that makes sense. But it's disheartening because I want to see it adapted, and right now Amazon was the best chance of doing that, especially if they did try to take a different direction or tried to
Yeah, it's too late.
I think it needs to be canceled. It needs to die. They need to hang their heads in shame. And then Brandon Sanderson needs to come out with his adaptation of his source material, and then
people will be like, "Oh wait, you can make good stuff."
Exactly, and I think Brandon Sanderson is going to be
he's going to start his own streaming service. He's going to start his own production company.
Yep.
Except he's getting kind of woke too.
Yeah. We'll see, but he's got his foot in the door.
Have you guys been reading Wind and Truth?
That's the thing. So
no,
Jared hasn't. It's been a little bit concerning, actually. Yeah. You should watch our live streams on Prophet of the Dragon. There's a lot to like, and there's some weird stuff, and it almost feels like it's written by a different person. Some chapters.
Well, he did say.
I really, really hope,
considering
it gets better
in the future, but
Brandon Sanderson is surrounded by woke people, and it's permeated him through osmosis a little bit.
Well, and you bring up a good point though, that he is more.
Matt Hatch is running his YouTube channel. That's the Dusty Wheel guy. And he's in writers groups and podcasts with a bunch of feminist authors who I've met in person. They're very nice in person, but they have very bad ideas.
Yep.
Dan
Wells,
they're
hangs out with all the time.
Dan Wells, I like the guy. I don't like his takes. He has very bad takes. There have been times on his writers podcast where he gets shut down by by some of the feminists, and they like rebuke him for having his takes. If you want specifics, he is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as are we. And was it 10 years ago, maybe 15, he wrote a big expose about his beliefs on LGBTP stuff. And he said, I'm a member of the church, and I don't believe that gay marriage is good. And here's why. These are my beliefs. 2 years ago, he wrote another piece, and he's changed his mind. His now take is, I'm fully supportive of LGBT rights, and he includes the T. He wants to see gay marriage, and he wants to see the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints accept gay marriage in our temples and give priesthood to trans kids, which you can only get the priesthood if you're a man currently. He says I'm surrounded by these people, and I love them, and I would like to see in the future the church make these changes. Now, he also did end that paper that with saying, but if that is not God's will, I will accept that. If God does not want to make these changes in his church, that's something I can accept. So he's not full-blown woke. But I also don't know how long you can hold on to that mindset and not go further, right? And not just leave the church.
Yeah.
I do not want that to happen. I really like Brandon Sanderson.
Well, I think it's a hard place to be for sure. Like I definitely know. It's hard when you know people that
Of course.
are in those categories, right? And
Yeah.
and you just want them to be happy, and you want them to have the same rights, the same joys that others do, right? And that we enjoy, and that's always the issue that I've seen with this whole controversy is that it's like we want to support them, but at the same time, like there is an order to God's will and to how He's established.
Good night, Jacob. Thanks for tuning in. Keep going. Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part is seeing like.
Oh yeah,
okay,
it's absolutely hard.
We want them to have these blessings. Like I would love for them to have those blessings, to go to the temples and to be able to have the Melchizedek priesthood and all that stuff. But it's like that's not the way that God wants it, and that's the hard part is to say, hey, it's not the way that it's going to be.
It is not hypocritical to love someone and to also say that they're living in sin.
Yeah.
We all fall short of God's grace. But that's why grace exists, right? That's why God sent us his son, Jesus Christ. Well, we're getting into politics and religion.
I know. Sure.
Okay. I'm giving you the spark. Okay? None of us are perfect, okay? I am a sinner, and I'm friends with lots of sinners. And it's not just homosexuality that is a sin to me, okay? I'm friends with people who are gay, and I love them, and they are my friends. And I can still be friends with them and say, hey, I'd prefer it if you didn't sin, okay? I'm friends with, with thieves. I don't think I'm friends with any murderers. Well, we are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we are friends with him. He's in jail now.
Me more than you. I don't know.
He peed on me. Okay, and he's in jail now for murder. I love him. I would prefer if he didn't murder.
Well, and the problem too, though, is I think that there's some people that like take it to the extreme, right? In these groups, and that's the hard part is to try to support these guys that go way too far, trying to push this, and that's kind of like in the chats where it's like they're unstable and creeps. Like not most of them. I would say most of them are not, but there are some that like
that's
yes,
the thing.
they're too far.
Yeah.
And sadly, kind of destroy it for the rest of them because they are unhinged.
And that's the thing. Wickedness never was happiness. Okay, it's not hateful of me to want the people that I love to be happy, but in order for them to be happy and truly happy, I know that you have to absolve yourself from sin. There are lots of things that can give you instant gratification that will make you happy for a while, but permanent happiness is living righteously, is having a family. And it's something you can't know until you have a child. The happiness that brings in your. Jared, are you listening?
What? What are we talking about?
I've had some really cool opportunities in my life. I've gotten to do some really, really cool things, okay? And none of them hold a candle to my children. I'm super freaking excited to get number 4 in a few weeks. And I would give up everything for them. Nothing else I've ever done in my life is important. Because my children are everything. And that is God's plan. His plan is, and that's why we have commandments. Everything is centered around the family. It's so that we can form families and be with our families forever.
Amen.
And if you're living in sin, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Those families can be taken from you. You can lose them.
Yeah. And it's really hard.
Or you
you're
can't
right,
make
Greg.
them. Because,
There's a yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
okay.
literally. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we want to love and support, people that we believe are living unrighteously, but there's a difference between, loving and supporting the person and loving and accepting and supporting their lifestyle and their choices, right?
Yeah.
And that's a fine line, and I think a lot of religious people don't know how to navigate that, and I think with the way the world,
Oh yeah, they're absolutely. There's a lot of religious people who go too far. They hate, and that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
God
Yep.
does not teach us to hate. He
It's
teaches
both
us
on the
to
other-
forgive.
yeah.
He teaches us to turn the other cheek, even when we were wronged. We turn the other cheek, and we invite people to come to Christ.
And then you have people on the other
And
side,
it is not bigoted
Brandon
to
Sanderson.
invite someone to repent,
Exactly.
because we're doing it out of love. I want that person to be happy, and they won't be truly happy unless they repent.
Right. So you got to walk.
So I
that
understand
line.
Sanderson's position. Yes, he loves those people around him.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but the answer isn't feeding into the delusion.
Yeah.
Right. If you're talking mental illness, and if you're schizophrenic, you hear voices. There is no cure. Okay, it's something, and it's horrible. It's something you have to deal with your whole life. And I know I'm going to get heat for comparing homosexuality or transgenderism to schizophrenia. Okay. But it's comparable. It's something that's never going to go away, and it's something that you're born with, and it's something that you're going to have to live with your entire life. And the way to proceed is to figure out how to compensate for that trial in your life.
Yeah.
You don't treat schizophrenia by telling the patient to listen to the voices. You teach them how to ignore them. It's the same thing for trans. You don't teach them to feed into the delusion. You don't tell them that the voices are right, that they're real. You don't chop off your penis. That does not help.
Yeah.
You have to learn to deal with that burden your whole life. And I feel for anyone.
Heart goes out to you. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
That is truly a struggle. It's a struggle I'm grateful to not have in my life. And I also know you'll be happier if you don't sin. Anyway, this has been real fun. Let's talk about the penguin.
We have any viewers left?
No,
Yeah,
we did.
What
We
I
did
was
really.
did. Here you go. Here's the big one.
We lost Jacob, but he just had to go to sleep.
There you go. Dude, Penguin is amazing.
Let's talk about the penguin, baby. Okay,
Last episode,
This last episode
Look at
was
this.
so good.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It-
I love this. They
Arguably-
made a spin-off about Batman's sixth most popular villain, and it's the best show on television. This episode
Yeah.
from last Sunday is the highest rated TV show on IMDb episode, single episode of all time.
And not only that, though-
this episode isn't even about the penguin.
Exactly. It
It's
was
about a
so
spin-off of Penguin's sixth most popular villain.
yeah, exactly. It was.
You love the Devil's Hour. Yes! Someone else has...
Hey.
No one has watched it. It's amazing. We already talked about it. You're going to have to check out the beginning of the stream if you want to hear us talk about the Devil's Hour.
we talked about
and
it
we'll be
very
talking about it
briefly. There's no
much
spoilers.
more in depth next week when everyone's watched it. So
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
we're talking about the penguin now. Don't derail the conversation again.
Thanks for bringing us back on track,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, this was a really, really good episode. It
Man,
was well structured.
If we're talking character development, because we bring that up a lot, this
better-
was some of
Oh.
the best character development. I have-
Okay. Before we get into it, yeah.
Go on.
The studies show that you grow out of trans stuff. I was more referring to homosexuality. That's something you're going to have to deal with your whole life. having an attraction to the same sex.
That's true.
But you are correct. I worded that wrong. They found
Unless
they
you go
found
with
is
surgery.
it like 95% of people who identify as trans later in life will just be gay.
Or
Anyway, back to the penguin.
anyways,
You are
Yeah,
correct.
you're right,
Thank
Jared.
you. Thank you for that
Amazing character
specification.
Go ahead.
Well, because seriously, like, because they've hinted at it. Like, that's the thing too that I loved about it is like they hinted at these backgrounds. They're like, oh, what happened, years ago, or like, oh, you're the hangman. Like,
You're the hangman.
We've never gotten okay. Like, how did she become this? Like, what is this? And for her to actually like be completely innocent
Okay, I want to say
and go through that.
this completely breaks canon. Okay,
Yeah.
This is not the canon. This is not. That's the thing with comic books, though. There's like 10 different versions.
Right.
There aren't actually I think there's like 2 major backstories for the Hangman. I think, and I could be mistaken. I believe her first appearance was with the Long Halloween.
I think it's the sequel to Long Halloween.
Well, she shows up. Her
Right.
character shows up in the Long Halloween,
Correct.
and then the sequel is mostly about her.
Yep, I think that's Dark Victory is what it's called.
Yeah.
Either that one or the sequel to that one, which was The Haunted Night or something like that. I have all of them. I haven't read
The TV show doesn't do any of that. It throws canon out of the window.
That's the thing. I definitely don't know the canon for.
And guess what?
But again,
It's
the
kind of
Hangman, the Penguin is
good.
like the 6th most popular villain, which I think he's a little bit further down than that. But Hangman is like bottom of the barrel, right?
Yeah.
She's barely known, but holy crap, phenomenal job.
okay. Yeah, with tiny side characters like this, I don't really care if you change. And that's the thing. With every comic book iteration, you're changing the backstory a little bit, okay? And as long as you don't go against the spirit of the character, right? Like completely reversing their morals,
Yeah.
right? Then it's okay. And this throws canon out of the window, but it worked. It worked for her character in the show. This is complete, and it's comparable. Compare this to Rings of Power, right? Rings of Power, they're throwing out canon for no reason, right? Because they have their own ideas that they think are better, and it's bad. It's just stupid. It doesn't serve the story at all. These canon changes either.
And also
this is
in this
changed
one-
to tell this story.
Right. And she ends up in
and
the
it
same
works.
place anyway. It's kind of like, oh yeah, she was innocent, but she's kind of turned into the monster that everybody thought she was in the first place.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Is this the $5 super chat of vindication, baby? Somebody Googled a Hucklebearer. Thank you so much for the $4.99, Mark Clark. I feel good tonight.
Thanks, Mark.
Oh,
We
baby.
gotta stop doing that. We can't make him feel good for stuff like that.
Let's talk about the penguin. Let's talk about the hangman.
No, but David, to your point, that's what I loved about this, right? Is that like because of her
gorgeous.
backstory,
Yes.
she was innocent and she held on to that for so long. But because she was in a situation like that,
Look, she is
For
the
so
definition.
long.
She's the definition of
that person.
I could fix her. Right?
Who is this?
The hangman.
She's crazy, but yeah.
So crazy it just might work.
Seriously.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Thought I was responding to the
No,
chat.
no, that was the end of my thought. I loved how it all came together, and that's like because she just lost hope.
Right.
That's how she became that,
Right.
that individual that she was beforehand.
And it was that moment when she had completed her sentence and she was gonna be let go, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be let go. I'm gonna be stuck in here indefinitely. I might as well."
She's no
Be
Jennifer
crazy.
Connelly. I'd agree. She's no Jennifer Connelly. She's a completely different category, but it's a pretty good category.
Yeah. Sure.
David's wife is watching, so he has to be milk toast.
Actually, she might have left to work yet.
I haven't heard her cackling. Normally, when I have a good zinger, I hear a...
It's pretty good. She's been helping a young man with Down syndrome with his nightly routine, get him in pajamas and feed him dinner and give him to bed and that sort of thing. So she might have left to do that already. But but yeah, this is ouch. Now that's crazy. But yeah, this was so well crafted. I loved the whole thing. I don't know how much we want to bring up, but I love in the end, what she did to the whole family.
Yeah, it was fun.
They didn't have to spell everything out for you. She didn't have to explain her whole plan. Yeah. She just...
Yeah, talk about her range is great. She's super sweet and cuddly in the final season of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Should have gotten... I think the general consensus is we needed more of her character.
True.
For that show. This is totally different. She's killing it. This is very, very, very good range.
That creepy.
I think my favorite moment from the show, surrounding her specifically, was a couple episodes. I think it's episode 2, where she's talking to the friend that we see in flashbacks of this episode. Her bestie. And she's talking to her friend. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I haven't seen you. And then she bends down to talk to her daughter, and you see her like grip her daughter's shoulder, and then she just like looks at her and completely like, okay, you psycho bitch. That little, it was very I don't know if it was subtle. It was underhanded. It was just really, really good acting.
Well, and I think that's what plays so well with her.
Just the
her
complete
story
demeanor change,
is that she, like, literally the way that she took care of the family at the end was carbon monoxide poisoning, right? So it's like, it's literally like, she's very subtle about how she takes care of the problems in her life.
She lures the kid out to, it's fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Yep. But she leaves the window open in the other guy because she wanted to personally
either kill him or do. We're gonna see. We're gonna see tonight.
Yeah.
As soon as we end the stream.
Yeah. But yeah, just absolutely fantastic. Of course, I wish they would have brought it back to Oz and the Penguin at the end.
But
I didn't mind it. It was fine.
What I like is they're not just completely retconning and saying, oh, no, she was never a bad person. She's completely innocent. She's not the hangman at all. What they're doing is they're turning her into the person by making her innocent, right? Yes. You see when she's in this insane asylum, which really good stuff. Was showing just the brutality of the things that she was going through. It's the definition of like, well, everyone thinks that I'm this person, and so I'm just going to become it, right? When she murders that cellmate, she's so out of choices that she becomes the thing that people think that she is, and now she's murdering her entire family. Yeah, she was completely innocent, but now she's become the villain.
Yeah,
she's become the thing that she was accused of, and
and what's interesting too about that part,
tasty
that she literally she kills that cellmate and screams at the same time, "I am innocent!" Right? Like that's what's crazy about just that whole.
It was a great scene. It was a great scene.
Yeah, she's literally screaming that she is still innocent and murdered this girl, right? And the other thing too that I'll bring back to David's comment is that I think it plays just enough into having the Penguin involved in her backstory. Yeah. That, like, for me,
his involvement is great.
The Penguin really, like, he was sweet, but you can see him kind of playing the game early on too. Like, is he trying? He's trying to get his name out there, right? Like, he's trying to become more influential in this family, and he sabotaged her, right? And obviously, they had this relationship, but it was that little stab. Like, it wasn't a huge stab in the back. It was just a little stab in the back
that led to a big stab.
that led to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Here's what this show has been doing every single episode. It keeps setting up pins that I think are going to last the whole season and then knocking them down in the same episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I didn't think, I thought that's what the whole thing was going to be about, right? Like it took like 2 episodes setting up, hey, I'm going to play these 2 families off of each other, and they're not going to be the wiser, and it's going to be political machinations and Penguin behind the scenes. And then that episode ends with him being ratted out. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing next? I'm very curious. And like she already knows that he was playing both sides.
Yep.
And I thought the whole season was going to be him trying to gain her trust, and then she finds out in the last episode.
Yep.
And that's not what they're doing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's surprising me at every turn. It's not.
Right.
It's not taking the predictable, conventional routes. It's telling a story, and it's interesting.
Then the end of the last episode too, you're like, hey, you should trust me more. Let me show you how to trust me. And he just abandons her and leaves her.
Yeah, that episode ends with him saying, "We're going to spend the rest of the season building trust."
Yeah.
Traitor!
Yeah.
Leave her! Let's go!
Yeah. Which I thought was like, why would he do that if he was trying to trust her? But then
because that crazy second that she showed up, the game's
they
over.
outed him. Yeah, it was wonderful.
That other lady's frustrating. It seems like she'd give a little bit more leeway, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic show. Great acting. Oh, and one thing we haven't mentioned so far, I don't know why I keep neglecting to mention this, but Colin Farrell has got that waddle down. Like
Seriously.
he looks like a penguin waddling, but it's not. It's a realistic limp, right?
Yep.
But it looks so friggin' good, and it's consistent with it, and just props.
I'll agree. Yeah, when it first shows you kind of why he waddles, I was like, oh, that's why he's called the penguin. Like, it made sense. I was like, oh, okay, like this actually makes sense.
Well, I'm excited to watch it as soon as I'm done streaming. Episode 5, baby. So,
yep.
Yeah, should be good.
That's much. I can either use this time to finish my episode 4 video. I've got like 2 scenes left to edit. Or I can watch the Penguin.
It's a hard choice.
Very hard choice. Every time I sit down, I just like feel just this dread of I don't like this show.
Yeah,
it's so bad. So Rings of Power, not the Penguin.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're behind on your Rings of
Power.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
But also, people didn't watch season 2, and so my videos this year were only half as popular as last year. It's fine. I probably won't finish. Or I'm going to finish editing the season. I think the last half of the season I'll make the videos a lot shorter and just do the funny memes rather than critique every single scene, which I've been doing. I'm just going to pull out the funny moments and this really, really stupid stuff.
Yeah,
it's just going to take so long, and it's going to drain my soul to finish the last 4 episodes with the same depth that I did for the first 4. And most of the stupid stuff is in the first 4 episodes. That's them setting up stupid pins.
Yeah.
We're just going to knock them all down.
Except for the battle. I think you should analyze
the finale. The finale is horrible. Like, both of those.
But again, you don't have to psychoanalyze everything. Just point out ridiculous stuff that happened.
So much work
during the battle.
So much work. There's just so much stupid. And that's the thing. I keep telling myself, let's just breeze through this next scene. Let's just pull out a couple jokes. And then the entire scene is retarded. And I'm editing like 10 hours later. I've finished 5 minutes of footage from the show. Anyway, the Penguin's great. Rings of Power's dumb. Rings of Power's over. Well, I think they're pretty much guaranteed season 3, but it'll probably be canceled after that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Same with Rings of Power. Same with Wheel of Time.
I don't think I have seen anything positive on Rings of Power. Like,
you're not on Twitter, but that's my fault, right?
That's true.
So, because I email them. I see a bad take and I email it to myself, and so the algorithm says, "Oh, you like bad takes," and it keeps giving me more. So I see bad takes I see bad Wheel of Time takes on X all the time.
Yeah.
But it's probably not indicative of like the average person.
Yeah, I from what I've seen, there's a huge drove of people that have not liked Rings of Power at all,
Yeah.
especially this last season. So, I mean, I myself have watched several breakdowns of the battle scene, of them just critiquing the crap out of it, because it was so bad. And anyway, so yeah, there's so much, and maybe it's because I'm feeding stuff like that in my feed, but
Yeah. But even then, yeah, season 1, my meme edits were getting, 15, 25,000 views, and my most watched video this year got 9,000. They're averaging about 3,000 per video, which it's not
for the effort. Yeah,
no one's watching the show. So
yeah.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, book 5. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that one eventually, halfway through book 2. So thanks for tuning in. Good night. I think we're pretty much done for this show, right? That was it.
Definitely watch the Penguin.
Yeah, an episode of the Penguin with no penguin, and it was still pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't know if it was the best episode. Yeah, maybe it was pretty dang good.
I thought it was pretty good.
This show is fun. Shockingly good. So good. I don't really care about the DCU. I just want more the Matt Reeves Batman stuff. I want to see Batman 2, and I want to see a couple more spin-offs and TV shows just in this universe. I don't give a crap about Corrin Sweat.
What are we talking about?
The DCU Penguin. I'm saying I'm more invested in just this Batman universe than the DCU and the David Cornsweet Superman Legacy. I think that one's called.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're getting that one next year. It's gonna blow all of our minds. That's what what's his face has been saying. Why can't I think of his name? The guy who's in charge now. Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn. That's what James Gunn has been saying. It's going to blow our minds. David Cornsweet. It's just amazing. So
what comic were they adapting for that?
It has Super Dog in it. Superman has a dog.
Crypto?
Super Dog.
Super Dog Man. Super Dog Man. What were you saying?
I was just asking if you remembered the name of the comic that they're adapting for this.
I don't think they've said. It's called Superman Legacy. I think he's trying to keep it secret.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
What the heck is Dungeon Crawler Carl?
It was rumors they were going to be adapting All-Star Superman, which is a comic that I have and I started reading, but apparently it will not be an adaptation of that, so never mind.
Dungeon Crawler Carl is the best time I've had in a long time. It's a funny book about Carl, and he has to crawl through a dungeon. Okay, the basic premise is it's fun. It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy mixed with Hunger Games if it was good. The book opens up with aliens show up and seize planet Earth and say, "Oh, we have planet Earth now. It's ours under a technicality because you didn't fill out a form." And we're completely terraforming the planet into a giant dungeon and turning your world into a TV show. The tagline is the apocalypse will be televised. It is if you want to survive, you have to crawl through the levels of the dungeon. You have to get to level 18, and it's a big TV show. So you've got trillions of aliens watching humans die. And it's really, really fun.
That's interesting.
The main character is incredibly refreshingly masculine. and has good qualities. What's so weird about it is it's clearly just a comedy, and it's a good time, but it's also really well written, and you're like, this isn't supposed to be like poignant. This is I thought I was reading a comedy, and now I'm crying, because the characters are so well written. And then it just goes into an action sequence that's incredibly over the top and ridiculous, and you're laughing your head off. And then you're having feelings about a cat. Because the main character is Carl, and the second main character is his ex-girlfriend's show kitty. Who I'm going to spoil a little bit of the book. He gets rewarded for they get achievements anytime something happens. New achievement: you just killed a monster with your bare toes, or you got to read. Don't read the book. Listen to the audiobook. It's designed for audiobook. The guy who does the voices is incredible, and he was one of the first people to bring in a pet, and so he gets rewarded with an upgrade, and the cat becomes sentient and can talk to him, and it's hilarious.
That's
and she
cool.
is the best character, and you care about this stupid puffy kitty who was going on competitions, and so she's calls herself Princess. She's Princess Donut, and she treats herself like royalty.
Wow.
And is annoying and hilarious. And you got to read Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's hard to say, but David's internet just cut out. So there's probably a good sign to end the night. We'll see you guys next week. Probably talking full spoilers for The Devil's Hour Season 2.
Yeah, I'll see how far I can get.
It's 5 episodes. I'm already
No, but they're each like an hour and a half.
I know.
They're long.
Yeah. But it's hard to stop watching that show.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
So maybe mostly spoilers, depending on how much we've watched. I'm betting he's going to watch the whole thing. We're going to be talking about The Devil's Hour Season 2 and Season 1 because Jared hasn't seen it yet. We're going to be talking about The Penguin, Episode 6, which we've all seen tonight instead of watching our show. And more Vox Machina. I think, do we have 1 more or 2 more weeks of Vox Machina? They do it in episodes, 3 chunks.
Weeks. Yeah.
But okay, I was going to say,
like 15
the way that it ended didn't quite feel like a season finale.
How many episodes have there been? What was the last
I
episode?
think there's
6 episodes.
6.
Or no?
Yeah,
No, there's 9. There's
9.
been
That's what I
9.
meant.
Yeah, there's
there's
12 then, because there's 12 episodes. 3, 6,
So there's
9,
1 more.
12. Yeah,
Got it.
1 more week.
probably. Maybe 15. I don't know. Does the cat knock a glass from the counter? That actually hasn't happened in the books yet. But she does instinctual things like that frequently get Carl in trouble, and it's so much fun. It's just it's not family friendly. There's a lot of swearing and a lot of cartoonishly over the top graphic violence, but there's no sex or anything stupid like that. A little bit of innuendo. It's just a good time.
Sounds a lot like those myth adventure books that Mark recommended in the chat.
I do need to read some of those. I've just got a lot.
watched
I'm currently juggling 5 books. So I'm reading I'm reading Dungeon Crawl. It's a mouthful. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm reading Lord of Chaos. I'm reading Wind and Truth. I'm reading The Naked Communist, and I'm reading the Book of Mormon. So
Quite the list. Yeah. Those are fun. I mean, you can listen to them in like 2 hours. They're very short.
Yeah, I do need to knock one of those back.
They're fun.
I was going to look something up, but I think that's over. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Oh no, I just need to double check the schedule real quick to see if there's anything else. But I think we're good.
Just the same stuff from this week.
Dune Prophecy is next month, which I saw the trailer for, and
that's the prequel one, or
kind of, yeah, it happens a good. It's a prequel. It's So none of the characters should be alive, that are in
the origin
books.
of the Bene Gesserit prophecy of the.
It's not the origin of the Bene Gesserit. It's the origin. I believe it's the creation of the Spicing Guild, and hopefully, it's them seeding the prophecies, the fake prophecies of the Lisan al Gaib on Dune. That's a month away.
Yeah,
and I think that ends. That's going to air the week after the Penguin ends. So because it's on, they're both on HBO, which that's a smart move.
Yeah,
but it looks like we're going to be in it like a week behind again because Sunday
again. I really hate Sunday releases.
Yeah. Okay.
Not just because we do this on Sundays, but I spend the whole week wondering if I'd already watched the episode or not.
It is hard because it's not just us. Most people, do a weekend show like a Friday or Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And you have to wait a whole week before you can talk about it. It's tough. It's bad. Release on Wednesdays. We do Wednesday night. Wednesday night's good. Good. Nothing new until Dune Prophecy, and then we'll get Arcane Season 2 pretty soon after that.
I was going to say Arcane should be coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I did check out the first episode of HBO has another show called The Franchise, which is making fun of Marvel and DC. It's someone trying to film a superhero movie connected to a universe, and everything's going wrong because it's them trying to film a solo movie, and the producers come in and say, "Hey, remember this plot that is huge in your movie? We needed to make changes in the movie that comes before your movie, and we killed off an entire race of people that you were using in your movie. So now you got to make changes." And it's like actor drama and studio metal. Like it's kind of pretty interesting. It doesn't seem like it's very sympathetic to the producers, which is it's kind of crazy that Warner Brothers made this.
That's kind of funny. Also, didn't there be another Apple TV show coming out? I think Severance comes out soon, or maybe Silo comes out first.
Silo is dropping in November along with Dune Prophecy, I think.
Okay,
at the same time,
and then
Severance is January.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, Severance.
We'll have a couple good things coming up. But yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Anything else? You all good? Okay. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a blast. Hopefully, Mex's internet will be fixed.
Yeah.
Because I was excited to talk to him. It's okay. We chat all the time. He's doing great. Yeah. See you guys next week. Bye.
Hey, see you.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you
me. I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.